Hey there, Cancer. Let's talk about what 2025 has in store for you and what a year it's set to be, thanks to Jupiter moving into your sign where it hasn't been for 12 years. And so, when you have the planet of luck, opportunity, expansion, growth, advancement, possibility, when you have that landing in your sign, it resonates all that energy with you. It brings all of these things through to you. And you will find that this is going to be a year where you have the Midas touch, right? Where things work easier for you, where with little minimal effort, even though it may be hard for you to drum that up or to have faith in yourself to do it, with little effort, you're going to make major headway. And that's an amazing thing, right? So let's kind of look at it just starting at the beginning of the year, right? We have Mars, the planet of action and movement, retrograding in the sign of Leo. And as it retrograded in Leo at the beginning part of December 2024, as it moves through its retrograde period until it leaves in February, what happens there is that it backs up, right? And it goes back into the sign of Cancer. And so, where Mars had given you some motivation towards the end of 2024, November-ish, in that area to make some shifts and changes in your life to get your feet moving in new ways, all of a sudden now it went retrograde and it kind of took the steam out of you. It took the wind out of your sails. Maybe some event happened where it really didn't go the way that you had anticipated. And now it's really kind of taken the energy out of you. And as Mars goes retrograde and it goes backward, this is a time of reassessment of what it is you do want moving forward. So this is going to help you feel like you're breaking free of feeling stuck. I guess the stuck feeling really started last year and now, or 2024, I should say, not last year because it's still 2024 as I'm making these videos, but whatever, neither here nor there. Here you are, ready to move forward. And as Mars moves out of this retrograde phase, I think you will find too that your energy levels return along with clarity in February. It's like February 23rd when it finally leaves, but you may feel that just a little bit beforehand. That's where we got the engine starting, right? You've got Jupiter ready to bring you these opportunities. You've got Mars revving and rocking and rolling, ready to give you the energy, the confidence, and the courage to go out and get your feet moving to do these things. So, what kind of things are we looking at doing? Let's look at your money sector here. Now, Jupiter has you realizing what your net worth is. hmm and what your true worth really is. Having that Mars and Leo, um, as it gets that retrograde going again after February, like I was saying, it gets moving again, and then it's going to be in your sign. It's moving, it's rocking and rolling. Then once it gets going again, April to June in that time frame when it finally goes back into Leo again, that's what rules your second house of money and finances. And so you will find that the engines are rolling on all cylinders in terms of money, right? This is asking for that raise. That's that confidence and courage. Maybe an opportunity, remember, because Jupiter's going to be bringing you a whole butt ton of opportunities this year. You just got to know the ones to take. You may find that in that April to June timeframe, something reappears. Something reappears for you, especially in June when Jupiter finally does come through your sign. You've got that opportunity, but you also have that courage to jump on those opportunities when they come through. That's a wonderful thing to have happening in that sign of money, right? Now let's look at your home sector, home and family sector of this chart. Now, Jupiter returning to your sign has you kind of looking in a lot of ways. I think we'll just kind of explain how this works for everybody when Jupiter goes into Cancer. Now, Cancer is the sign that deals with home, family, early childhood, our roots, our belief systems that we've inherited from our family as well. Now, when you have Jupiter moving into these areas, it kind of magnifies those issues that are in there. So in this 12-year interval, it's looking at that house and it's going, what's your relationship like with your parents, especially mom, because Cancer moon rules that and that takes on the mothering energy. How are you as a mother? What types of things have you inherited from your mother or past family, dynamics that happen within that. What about your physical home? When Jupiter goes through Cancer in these areas, this is where people are looking to those things. They're looking at the physical house, right? We'll start with that. They're looking at the physical house, and this is a time frame when people might expand their houses because Jupiter does like to expand things. This is maybe opportunities pop up to move, to sell, but it's also about the people that live inside of those houses. What does family look like for you? As Jupiter goes through Cancer, maybe that kind of shifts and changes the landscape of who you consider family. Maybe that has you looking to the past, to that early childhood aspect, like I was saying, and the generational, not just traumas that our families kind of pass down from one to another, but generational beliefs as well. And as Jupiter comes through, it's going to say, what if those things are outdated? What if those things do not fit you anymore? And what kind of things do you need to surrender in order to heal these generational wounds that are happening in family? And you'll find that that's the case for everybody, the things I just said right there, but it's especially going to be true for you. If you're ready to move forward in life, if you're ready to make some shifts and change in family, Jupiter coming through is going to give you that ability not just to heal the wounds of the past, but to also make really great strides for the future for what you do want. Now's the time to manifest what it is you do want. So now when it comes to the kids in that home, right, you've got um there's that's I guess not one of the major sectors of your chart this year, but the Mercury retrogrades are going to be happening in that area. Some of the Mercury retrograde energies are happening in that area for you this year. So you may find that maybe like let's say you are thinking about having children. Mercury retrograde says, I've had this conversation before with my partner. We talked about children. As it comes back in the retrograde phase this year, you may be finding that maybe those conversations come back again. There's conversation about having children again. Maybe it's conversation, maybe it's if you have existing children, communication, Mercury has you looking to how does that dynamic of communication work with your children? What needs to be done to improve it, to change it, to modify it, whatever it might be, right? Absolutely. Um, but it's also having you kind of look to the past because remember that's what retro means, to look to the past. Where have you adopted communication styles from your family that maybe, like we were talking about, how Jupiter's trying to heal these things? Maybe you're recognizing and realizing some of the dialogue that's coming out is words that you've heard in the past and they may not be fitting anymore. Mercury retrograde has a way of having us look at that, but also to change what doesn't work anymore. Now, as astrologers, we look to see where the eclipses are happening, right? This is where new beginnings are trying to come through. We're talking a lot about these opportunities that are popping up for you, but we look to where the eclipses are, and where the eclipses are, that's where the nodes are, and the nodes kind of represent where our purpose is for that time frame. Now, we have this situation now where these eclipses are moving into a 10-year interval where they haven't been for 10 years into the signs of Virgo and Pisces. And for all of us, what that means is how do our thoughts create our reality? How do our beliefs and what we manifest in our minds, how do we manifest that into our tangible physical life? Are we acting on what our intuition is telling us to do? And how well is that turning out for us, right? But also, how do our thoughts create our physical reality and our physical ailments? All of those things kind of go into this energy. So now for you, this is very much true because it's happening in that third house of the conscious mind and over here in the ninth house of our higher mind. So you definitely are going to be looking at a time frame here of reassessment on how your thoughts create your reality. Now, another thing too with this, remember this is where new beginnings are trying to come through. So if you're looking at how your communication style works with yourself and with others, you're also looking to like maybe bettering yourself. Maybe this is a time frame where you're thinking about going back to school. The ninth house deals with higher education. So you may be finding that you are taking seminars, courses, broadening your horizons, right? Trying to expand yourself thanks to the influence of Jupiter. These eclipses really have you focused on learning as much as you can about yourself and the world around you and where you want to do that. Maybe this is you taking on opportunities to teach others what you've learned. But regardless, this is a year definitely for a lot of that. And there may even be travel involved in that too, because the ninth house deals with travel. So to better find what it is that you want that makes you happy, Jupiter is also the planet that rules the ninth house. Maybe you'll be finding this is a year where you are finding what you want based on exploring new things, right? So definitely a year of growing and expanding, a year of caring for yourself mentally, physically, spiritually, and emotionally. Because when we look at Jupiter moving through Cancer, Cancer ruled by the moon deals with our emotions. So this is a year of also Jupiter showing you the value of your emotions, what they mean, and how valuable they are in giving you the insight and the guidance that you need in the moment, right? For what it is that you're trying to convey, especially in these relationships. Jupiter is that Midas touch that I was telling you about at the beginning. So know that this is a year where with little effort, you're going to make big strides. Definitely. As long as you believe in yourself, trust in your talents, skills, gifts, and abilities. Trust in the universe and knowing that it's going to be bringing you whatever skill sets you need to move forward. The more that you have that faith, the more the blessings of Jupiter can work in your life. And I think you're going to be finding that to definitely be, you'll get a preview of that this year, but especially as Jupiter continues to move through your sign until June of 2026, I think that's where you're going to see the major growth and the shift happening. Now, and especially to let this new in, we got to let the old out, right? And so Uranus, that planet of radical shift and change, is going to be moving into Gemini this year. That's an 80-year cycle that's huge. It's absolutely huge. What it's trying to do is free and liberate us from old systems that don't work anymore. For you Geminis, blarf, for you Cancers, this is going to be going through that 12th house, that last house of the zodiac, of the wheel that deals with our subconscious mind and how that puppy works. So you've got this planet, Uranus, that wants to radically transform what doesn't work anymore. And it's going through that house of the subconscious mind. Look at a purging, right? It's going through with a fine tooth comb, helping you to locate what those self limiting beliefs are and those karmic debts that you may have, the karmic beliefs that you feel that you're not deserving because of this, right? This is where Uranus comes through and says, let's get rid of this. It starts moving in this year, it finally lands next year, and then it's there for the next several years. You have all these things working with you, trying to move you forward, move you into new, bigger areas, bigger paying jobs, better relationships, bigger houses, whatever it might be. Your dreams, the sky's the limit, right? But what does limit us is our thoughts and our beliefs in ourselves. And remember, these eclipses this year are bringing to light how that thought process works. And then Uranus is working on destroying those old self limiting beliefs so that you can step into these new areas that are ready for you. What areas are they? It's different for everybody, right? Everything I've said today is just generically for all of our Cancer friends, right? If you want to know how this impacts your specific birth chart in particular, where is Jupiter bringing you luck and opportunity? Where is Uranus actually purging things for you? This is going to be something where I have a link below. You can set up a reading with me. We'll go over it by Zoom. But if if you just want to dig into a little bit more in astrology too, I'm going to bring this one in as well. I've created a really awesome 2025 astrological planner where it kind of goes through all the events of 2025. It's a bit of an astrology 101 book as well, but it also has the days and the astrological events that are happening by the days, and it takes the new moons and the full moons, and there's journaling, and it's a wonderful way to really start utilizing astrology in your daily life if that's something you're looking to doing as well. Enough of that. But anyway, this is just in general for all of our Cancer friends. I have these birthdays that are written down. These are the major astrological events that are going to be happening if your birthdays land in this. If you don't have your birthday in here, it doesn't mean that these things aren't going to be happening to you. You may find that it's completely resonating 100%. So I always just say take what resonates, leave what doesn't, right? Absolutely. So these are for specific birthdays. But before I get into the birthdays, another thing to keep in mind too, right? Moon ruled moon child here that you are. Anything that we do with the moon cycle is going to be super, super important to you. It's your ruling planet, you know. But if you want to be working on manifesting or releasing things, we're going to be doing those at the new moon and the full moon cycles. And that's why these astrology planners are super helpful for you to know where the moon is at in these time frames and how to utilize that energy best and harness that for you. But for you, the Cancer moons are going to be the biggest ones. So if you're wanting to manifest, you're going to be wanting to know that that window for opportunity to manifest all these amazing things that are trying to come through, it's going to be the strongest for you June 25th. That is going to be your Cancer new moon. Now, the Cancer full moon, this is where we're releasing things that don't seem to be working for us anymore. We let those out into the universe at the time of the full moon. Yours is going to be January 13th, so that's coming up very soon. Are you ready to let go of some of these things? Maybe Uranus has already started working on bringing these, subconscious thought process, limiting beliefs to the surface. And you're like, I'm aware of this. I'm just ready to let them go. This is going to be a time frame, even putting that intention out to the universe. Hey, I'm ready to let go of my limiting beliefs. Show me the way and help me to recognize when they pop up and help me to release them when they do. Put that into this full moon on the 13th of January, 2025. And I think you'll be very amazed at how quickly things work because I tell you what, Jupiter is working with you this year to make major strides and changes. Back to the birthdays. Let's get to these birthdays. So if your birthday falls between June 21st and June 22nd, not a whole lot of time, Saturn out there is going to be squaring up against your sun. Now, Saturn is known as the planet of lessons. And I tell you what, it is the teacher, and it is teaching us through the hard work that we have to put in. So you may be finding that this is a challenging year for you that tests you on a personal level. Maybe you're taking on more responsibilities, um, but you're embracing these new responsibilities. And that is a positive thing, right? With new responsibilities, right, comes new boundaries and limits that you are going to have to be setting. And so, as Saturn squares up against your sun this year, you are going to be finding that there are events that are happening that are calling on you to set boundaries better. Boundaries and limits are going to kind of be the theme of the year for you. You are you're focused. You are focused on your long-term goals right now. Saturn has us forward thinking and looking to the future. So definitely know that the more that you're thinking of the future, the more plans that you're coming up with, the better it's going to be for you in the long run. Maybe it's a year where you're realizing that in order to achieve these amazing things, that you're going to have to tighten your belt and do some other things and go without for a little bit. But remember, this is just for this year, but it ultimately pays off multiple dividends down the road. With little effort comes a lot of reward. Remember, we said that earlier. June 21st to July 17th, Jupiter is aligning with your sun. This hasn't happened in 12 years. This is an amazing energy, right? All that Midas touch energy we talked about, really true for you. This is opportunity. This is luck. These are breaks that come through, people that show up, expansion that occurs when you are willing to step outside of your comfort zone and try, explore new things. This is the year for you to do that. The smallest amount of effort you put in, I'm telling you, will yield amazing results, and you're going to be pleasantly surprised. July 15th to July 21st, Uranus, that planet that radically transforms us, it brings things through. It's going to be set making a really harmonious connection to your sun. So this might be a year where you are very focused on being you, finding that true, authentic you. That may ruffle a few feathers with some other people, and that's okay, right? That is absolutely okay. The more that you're finding that you're upsetting people by doing what's true to you, keep going in that vein because you're doing it right when Uranus is making an amazing connection to this, because this is a year of living the true, authentic you, the truest version of yourself. You're ready for innovation, you're ready for change, and Uranus is trying to bring it through. So that's what we've got for you in this coming year. I think you're going to be amazingly surprised how this follows into 2026. Trust your instincts, trust yourself, and get out of those comfort zones, and you'll be amazed at what comes your way. Thank you so much for watching, everybody. Have a wonderful new year.